Hello and welcome to Group 4's presentation about managing your money, all about interest, with Brenna Cohen, me, Tariq Kirkendall, and Eric Post. Now, my group ended up not actually working together for this last presentation, which is okay because we can all still turn in separate presentations and get credit for it. My topic was over compound interest versus simple interest. Now, you may ask what simple interest is. Simple interest is a quick and easy method of calculating interest charged on a loan. It is determined by multiplying the daily interest rate by the principal by the number of days that time elapsed between payments. Now right here below this is a little picture that shows the interest formula. Simple interest is I equals P times X, or P times R times T, where I is the interest money created in dollars, P is the principal or starting amount of money, R is the interest rate per year in decimal form, and T is the time money is invested or borrowed in years. Here's an example to help you understand clearer. First, let's start with simple interest. Most of the time, it is a fixed percentage of the principal amount that was borrowed. For example, let's imagine a student is paying for college. He receives a simple interest loan to help pay for his first year of college tuition, which comes out to be about 16 grand, and the annual interest rate for that loan is 4%. He has determined that he will repay his loan back over 2 years. The amount of simple interest he pays is $1,280. If you look into parentheses, you can see how I got that number. And if the total amount that he will end up paying back is $17,280, and you can see the reason it's that much is because when you're doing this interest, you have to take the original amount of the loan and add the interest on. When we found out the interest was $1,280, so we just take that and add it to the 16 grand for the loan. Now let's talk about compound interest. Compound interest is the addition of interest to the principal sum of a loan or deposit. Or simply, you could say it's interest on interest. It's the result of reinvesting rather than paying it out. So the interest in the next period is then earned on the principal sum plus previous accumulated interest. And below is another picture that has to do with the compound interest formula, including the principal, where you can see A is the amount, P is principal, the R in the fraction bar in the parentheses is the interest rate in the decimal form, the N is the number of times the interest is compounded per year, and the NT, the T in the NT, is the time in years. Now, on to compound interest, for example. It occurs on the principal amount as well as the accumulated interest of previous periods. Basically, like I said before, interest on interest. Taking the previous scenario with the same college student, he's borrowing the same original loan of 16 grand for college, and he's still repaying it over the same 2 years. The difference this time, however, is it involves a compound interest loan instead of a simple interest loan. The final amount that he will end up owing is $17,304.60, and you can see how I got that from the equation before it. Now, it's pretty clear to see that 17,000 is more than the previous amount. Now here is a little Venn diagram to show you exactly what differences are between the two. Compound interest is based on the principal amount of interest that accumulates on it every period or pay period. And it's not impossible to figure out, but it's not the easiest. However, both of them will grow your monetary state of what you end up paying back in the end. Now, with simple interest, it's based on the principal amount of a loan or deposit, and it's very easy to determine compared to compound interest. And now, if I want to make it relatable to my life, I haven't taken out a loan in my lifetime yet, but I can still relate to my life and say that I'm going to. I could say that next year I'm going to take a loan of 19 grand to help pay for the school year. The interest on that loan, let's say it's 7%, and I choose simple interest because I know I'll end up owing less in the end, and I'm going to pay it off for 4 years. If I do the math, it ends up the interest I'm paying ends up being 5,320, and you see the or the problem beside it to show you how I got that answer. So I would end up in the end of that year paying 24,320 because of that interest add-on. And simply, that's all my part. I hope that you got something out of my part of this Group 4 presentation, Managing Your Money. And I hope you have a great day, and thanks for listening to my speech.